Welcome. Today we explore a vital question. Will artificial intelligence reduce or increase inequalities in our global society? One of the key questions raised by the development of artificial intelligence, just as the development of other technologies that have changed our lives, is whether it will contribute to the reduction or increase in inequalities among different societies. Kissinger et al. Believe that even the approach to general artificial intelligence will have to be strictly guarded in order to prevent abuse. In other words, these authors suggest that it will have to remain in the monopoly domain of the strongest powers in this sphere, or, according to these authors, the USA, China, Russia, India, and, with a delay, the EU. The 2025 UNDP report, entitled "The Next Great Divergence: Why AI May Widen Inequality Between Countries," points to the possibilities of deepening the gap in terms of inequalities between developed and developing countries. What is particularly emphasized is the importance of the artificial intelligence application in education which, if applied inclusively, might contribute to general progress, while countries or even parts of the world lagging behind in its application might produce negative effects, not only in the sphere of education. At a recent summit about artificial intelligence held in New Delhi, several principles were pointed out on which artificial intelligence should be developed in the future. Anthropocentricity, man manages artificial intelligence and not vice versa. Digital sovereignty, everyone lays claim their own data. Inclusivity, ensuring access to artificial intelligence throughout humanity, in the languages spoken by different people and nations. In compliance with the traditional Indian philosophy, 3 sutras and 7 chakras have been defined regarding the principles of the further development of artificial intelligence. Through those chakras, we focus on human capital, social empowerment, and safe AI for economic development and social good. The summit in India stressed that, in relation to education, the importance of adaptive learning platforms broke linguistic barriers and personalized instruction. Since here we deal with the use of artificial intelligence in education and potential inequalities deepened by it, we would like to point out that its application in education is fully revolutionizing this sphere. In contrast to the pedagogical doctrine of Jan Amos Komensky, which is referred to the present-day pedagogy and which promotes uniform classrooms and uniform textbooks with the same content, and which affirms the subject lesson class teaching at school, the application of artificial intelligence encourages completely new approaches. The emphasis is not on human memorizing data, but it is necessary to master the skill how to obtain data from artificial intelligence. It is possible to personalize data according to the interests of students, and this is exactly what this technology encourages as its main benefit. The teacher's position is also changing. The teacher is no longer the deliverer of ready-made knowledge, in line with the role in the previous ex cathedra model, but the one who encourages critical thinking, at the same time makes heuristic model of teaching even more important. With younger age groups, the teacher dedicates more attention to students' socialization. Non-formal and informal education, as well as LLL, are becoming more important because they are encouraged by technology. This, of course, leads to some negative effects. Although nowadays we speak about the man and AI partnership as a didactic tool in the educational process, it is possible to predict a substantial reduction in the number of workplaces in education in the forthcoming decade. In addition, according to Kissinger et al., robots might even take care of children, while children might get used to robots and even prefer them to their peers. A similar statement has been recently made by Elon Musk, who added elderly people to those taken care of by artificial intelligence. Does this mean that the socialization process will be replaced by the mechanization process? Will single-minded individualism lead man in the direction of a machine, not a human environment? How will it affect human culture and society? All these questions are arising, and that is why it is true that the ethics of artificial intelligence and its anthropocentric model must be created. However, since it is certain that the development of humanity will be accompanied and not guided by progress in the application of artificial intelligence, it is clearly necessary to begin devising the rules about its application as soon as possible, while simultaneously working on its very application. South Korea has given us an example as the first country in the world to adopt the national law regulating this sphere, which came into force in January 2026, while the EU's AI Act, adopted last year, will fully come into force in 2027. Serbia is also preparing the adoption of its own national law on artificial intelligence. It is important that all countries should immediately be involved not so much in the development of AI technology, since it definitely remains the privilege of the richest, but in its application in different spheres of life, including education, thus trying to prevent the deepening of already existing inequalities in education. In that context, in its second Artificial Intelligence Development Strategy to 2030, Serbia highlights the importance of the development of AI application in the sphere of education, while the Center for Robotics and Artificial Intelligence in Education, CRE, UNESCO's International Institute for Online Education, Serbia National Center within the Faculty of Education of the University of Belgrade, regularly organizes teacher training for the AI use in education, which has been attended by more than 1,000 of teachers. This is not enough, but training is being intensified with the aim of covering teachers at all levels as widely as possible, from preschool to university. This represents Serbia's attempt to keep up with the changes brought by AI in education. Within CRE, avatars have been developed equipped with artificial intelligence and an interactive ability enabling learning personalization. Teacher training courses for the application of artificial intelligence in education, implemented in CRE, prepare teachers for the use of these interactive avatars. Under the leadership of Professor Danimir Mandic, the Dean of the faculty, these teachers are trained and their attitudes are explored regarding the use of artificial intelligence in education. A statistically significant increase has been observed in their self-assessment of digital competencies after completing the training. Although teachers' attitudes were not measured by a special instrument, the increase in self-confidence, professional empowerment, and readiness to apply the artificial intelligence tool in teaching indirectly confirmed the development of positive attitudes due to the influence of the training. The participants emphasized the need for further systematic training in order to ensure efficient and pedagogically based integration of avatars in the educational process, which is understandable having in mind that their application goes beyond the frameworks of traditional teaching, and that changes in artificial intelligence should proceed exponentially, which leads to even those who have already had the training will need additional training in its application just in a few years. Serbia ranks in the 44th place in the world by the spread of the artificial intelligence use among the working-age population, namely in the first third, with 22.1% of those who use AI. For a country of this size, it is quite a good ranking, but still not as good as that of the United Arab Emirates, which ranks in the first place with 64% share of the working-age population using artificial intelligence, France, which ranks in the 5th place with 44% and slightly less than Italy, which ranks in the 25th place with 27.8% of the population using AI. At the end of the list, as usual, there are the countries of the Global South, Asia, Africa, and South America. Cambodia with only 5.1%, Rwanda and Uzbekistan with 6.1%, Uganda, Tanzania, Sudan, South Sudan, Somalia, Ethiopia, Eritrea and Burundi with 6.8%, Syria and Bangladesh with 7.1%, etc. Therefore, these data already point clearly to the existence of a global gap in the prevalence of the use of artificial intelligence and the possibilities of its application in different parts of the world. Just as in the case of the digital gap, the gap in the application of artificial intelligence will also be deepened, which will lead to even greater social differences between the most developed and less developed countries. Hence, it is crucial that all countries should, as soon as possible, understand the significance of this new technology and begin applying it on a large scale, not because it is fashionable, but because it will benefit the development of their societies. There must be no room for conservatism here because it will lead to some societies substantially lagging behind. That is exactly why the application of artificial intelligence in education is a condition without whose fulfillment it is impossible either to develop its application in other spheres or to maintain and improve at least a certain level of equal participation of different societies, as well as individuals in the educational, scientific and cultural progress of humanity, which, for the sake of reminding, is one of the fundamental rights guaranteed by the OUN's Universal Declaration of Human Rights. In Serbia, the CRE Center is already training thousands of teachers to integrate interactive AI avatars into their teaching. The results show a significant increase in teachers' digital competencies and a positive attitude toward digital innovation in education. AI in education is essential to ensure equal participation in the progress of humanity, a fundamental right for everyone. Join us in shaping an education that uses technology to empower every individual. Together, we build the classroom of the future. Thank you for your attention. See you in the classroom of the future.